Okay, so this is our last video with the operations with integers. We've looked at addition, we've looked at subtraction. So just by process of elimination, we've got multiplication and division left. They are actually the simplest of rules to remember. So in our left-hand column here, let's put multiplication / division. So the rule here is if our numbers have the same sign, in other words, they're both positive or they're both negative, your answer is always, positive. If they have different signs, you guessed it, our answer is always negative. So, if we just look at some examples here, if we have 5 times 6, they're both positive, so our answer is going to be positive. It's going to be positive 30, because 5 times 6 is 30. If we were to have negative 4 times negative 8, they're the same sign, they're both negative, so our answer is going to be positive because they both have the same sign, and it's going to be a positive 32. Now if we were to have negative 5 times positive 7, because we have two different signs here, our answer is going to be negative, and it's going to be negative 35. And let's just look at a division example. If we have negative 56 divided by negative 7, because we have two of the same sign here, we've got two negative numbers, our answer is going to be positive, and then you just do 56 divided by 7, which is 8. So we're going to have a positive 8. Let's do one more. If we have 48 divided by negative 4, we have two different signs, so our answer is going to be negative. And then 48 divided by 4 is 12. So our answer is negative 12. The last thing we have to think about are our favorite word problems. These skills only matter if we know how to use them in a real world scenario. So let's just look at one word problem here. Say we want to compare the height and depth of two things on Earth. So we know that Mount Everest, which is the tallest peak in the world, is 29,028 feet above sea level. And then we know the Dead Sea is 1,312 feet below sea level. And we want to know we want to know what the distance between them. In other words, if we compare the very top of Mount Everest to the very bottom of the Dead Sea, how many feet are we spanning? So something that I like to do with word problems, if I can, is to draw a picture. So say we've got the Earth here, here's our ground, and we have Mount Everest, and we have the Dead Sea. So we know that Mount Everest is 29,028 feet, and it's positive. And since we're below sea level with the Dead Sea, it must be negative 1,312 312 feet. So we want to figure out what the distance between these two things is. So we're going to take our big number, 29,028, and subtract the negative 312. Well, like I said earlier, whenever you have two negatives right next to each other, they cancel out and turn into a positive. So we're essentially going to do the operation 29,028 plus 1312. And so these two elevations are 30,340 feet apart. That is the answer to our word problem. Okay, guys, thanks for tuning in. At the very bottom of this note sheet, you need to write what you learned. And then you are done with your first set of notes for the 2019-2020 school year. Okay, guys, thanks for tuning in.